covering the distance of over 150 miles and 7 counties. I often will go places very remote and away from people. One aspect of the Frog Week Conservation Project and the focus of PA Woods and Forests is also to protect the frogs and toads in our own backyards. By doing so, I end up on the front lines in the animal-human conflict. I see a lot of road mortality from cars running over frogs on a daily basis. I also have to take the trip to go to hostile environments, some of the most risky and difficult locations to work in aren't those I have to worry about bears or coyotes or even the possibility of the extinct mountain lion. It's actually where I have the direct interaction with people. And in this story, there was no way to go around it. There was no way to avoid it. The only way to tell the Pickerel Frog story was to have to go through it. To have to experience what these pickerel frogs are enduring on a nightly basis. All the pollution in their habitat, the fishermen leaving their lures and all of their bait along the shoreline, people over the generations polluting the waterways, throwing tires in the water with all kinds of pollution like snack wrappers and t-shirts and tobacco and even cigarettes laying around the shoreline. This is not a place I would expect a frog that's so remote and so sensitive to want to call home. But all of this included in their environment, they still are thriving and persisting. And knowing that this was the most abundant population across the 150 miles, I had to make a decision that I was going to go where the frogs were, and I was going to experience their nightly routines the way that they did. I went through some very dangerous and very gut-wrenching situations. However, I'm very happy that I made the trip to go experience what these frogs are dealing with, because it created a new primary location for the Frog Week Conservation Project, and it also creates a powerful message about how a frog that is usually never seen or heard is so important to our ecosystem, and it's a target species for the Frog Week Conservation Project. With my own personal emotional attachment to these frogs, I wanted to make sure to tell their story and to do it the right way, and that's from the field. Pickerel frogs are a medium-sized frog with a tan to light brown background color, and they have 2 parallel rows of squarish dark brown spots running down their back. They have a distinct bright yellow or orange wash on their inner thighs, easily seen when they jump. They have very different spots compared to northern leopard frogs. The spots on their back are typically rectangular or blocky. These guys have a relatively blunt snout, which is rounded compared to the snout of other randed frogs, and they are usually a size between just under 2 inches and a little over 3 inches, with sexual dimorphism at play, males generally smaller than females. I started hearing something sneaking up on me while I'm out here filming the pickerel frogs at their first population, and thought it was a mammal or a person. Here I was wrong. It's actually an American toad coming to the water. What are the odds that I'm here and an American toad decided to sneak up on me? Like, you know how that's so reversed? That's so funny. It's a really good night for both the American toads and the pickerel frogs, though. That's who's been making all the wrestling in the leaves. There it is. Isn't that neat, guys? Here I thought I had to be an expert frog hunter, and they're actually coming to me. I think I hear another one. It's just really funny. I've never been in the forest when the American toads have actually moved and come towards me. These two keep wrestling. You can see that. The leaf litter is so active tonight with these guys. These guys are all, you can hear the movement in the forest, which is really funny to me that they're so active and they're all coming to this spot where the pickerel frogs are. I'd like to get some pictures. There's literally one, I think, about to walk up to us. I can't see it, but like it's coming. This is crazy. But this is what Frog Week is all about. This is the most exciting thing that I've had so far this year. Literally filming one target species while another one is coming towards me. They're literally, look at this guy. You can't see them, but they're in a race against time. They get to the pond first. I literally can't believe this toad is coming to me. Probably one of the coolest things that I've ever seen for Frog Week. After enjoying this experience with these American toads, I quickly learned why my purpose of being there was so important. I moved that guy right there. It was more than just filming pickerel frogs and American toads. It was about helping an animal in its greatest time of need. This guy's lost his front wrist. The American toad is my favorite animal, so this easily broke my heart on this night. And I ask you, if I wasn't here at this very second, would this American toad still be alive? Would he still be an important part of our world as we know it? Or would he have been a forgotten story? That wasn't something that I was going to look past, and it wasn't something that I was going to walk away from, leaving him with this very serious injury. So thankfully for him, I was in the right place at the right time. You could almost call it divine intervention. As the storms raged outside, I quickly consulted with a vet in Pittsburgh to try and help save his life, getting him away from any type of infection, keeping him in a sterile environment, and now trying to think, what was I going to do with this American toad? I had the room on the permit, but how could I help him? I think this bullfrog is trying to eat them, just like the people fishing. Pickerel frogs frequently occur with wood frogs and green frogs, and even the American bullfrog, which you just saw, though they generally prefer colder microhabitats. As one of the target species for our iNaturalist Citizen Science project, we made it a point to try to get out and film these animals as much as we could, and I was very thankful to find the 11 specimens that we could to make sure that we got them represented on the board. but it also shows with how abundant all the other frogs and toads are across our conservation project. We still need to learn more about these animals and make sure that we're conserving and even preserving the populations that we do have. With them being an upland species, the Laurel Highlands is the ideal habitat, and with all of the work that the conservation districts are doing, mainly the Somerset Conservation District, targeting the water pollution that we've endured for a very long time in this region, the pickerel frog is literally the canary in the coal mine. It's the perfect animal ambassador if you want to talk about water quality and how we can make a difference on the drinking water for our people, but also in the lives of the animals that depend on water quality for survival. Like frogs specifically because they breed in water. A lot of the talk is about fish, but how about a frog that's mountainous that will only move into a location if their water quality checks out? This would be my vote as one of the ambassador animals of the Laurel Highlands, because it seems that the population is increasing where a lot of the treatment sites have been successful at removing a lot of the acid mine drainage. So this frog is telling us that our work has been making a difference. And just when we have breakthroughs and we have excitement and all these different things to share with this episode, it's been quite the roller coaster, because as we enjoy another high with these animals, we also now have to come back down to earth and experience the second animal from this location with a serious injury, something very bad. It was hit with a fishing hook and suffered severe internal injuries. It was actually vomiting its eggs out of its mouth.
This is a female. Look how big it is. You okay, buddy? You okay? We'll take you for a little bit.
I didn't come to this location for comfort. I came because someone had to. Somebody had to make a difference in this forgotten section of a fishing location, where the water's murky, the pollution is high, but still, these lives are trying to push through. It's here where I saved that American toad that lost its wrist. It's also here where I held that wounded female pickerel frog, pierced by a fishing hook, as she was passing away. The only thing I could do was mercifully give her a peaceful ending, allowing her to perish in captivity. Between exhausting work schedules, field research across 7 counties, and the daily weight of conservation work, I still returned here again and again. Not because it was easy, but because it was urgent. Because that's the only place across all 7 counties where the pickerel frogs thrive in numbers. And it's because this location holds the densest population of American toads that I've ever seen. And because both species are so valuable to this Frog Week conservation project, and this is a quiet place that could potentially be in jeopardy of losing 2 of our target species, I knew that I needed to be here. They needed someone to fight for them when no one else would, to conserve them. I hope that you will continue to watch Frog Week as we continue to impact the lives of our local frogs and toads across western and central Pennsylvania. If you enjoyed this episode, consider liking and subscribing and sharing with your friends.